everybody, I'm Susan. Welcome to Plateau Art Studio, Art for Kids. I'm here to help you along today with an art project, so let's see what we're working on today. Hi everyone. Well, today's Claude Monet, and on my website I do have a couple of Claude Monet's little books. I've had these for a really long time. This one's a really nice one, written by Mike Venezes, and he has a whole new series out. So getting to know the world's greatest artists, and there's lots of kids books on Monet and different world artists. So these are a couple I have that I usually use in my classroom. So today we'll do Claude Monet's Waterlilies, and I do have a poster, but it's huge, but I will share it with you. At least I'll share part of it with you. How's that? So what we're doing, let's see if I can squeeze this under here. And so at least you can see part of it here. And there's some little bite marks from when I had a kitten, when my cat was a kitten. He just loved to chew on everything. So if you can kind of see this, this is kind of a real free-flowing painting that Claude Monet did of his water lilies. It's just almost looks like there was like wind or something to make the water kind of ruffled, and just love all the colors he used. So I wanted to share that. That was a little something I had, so hopefully that shows up in the video. And all right, so you've got my little kit, so let's get started. And you have these here that I've kind of placed out for you for the composition. Composition is where you place things so that it looks nice and pleasing to your eye. So what I want you do not have to trace these. I traced them so that they showed up well for the video. So, all right, so let's get started. We're going to use our cool colors. You should have purple, blue, and I included the glitter paint. Let's see, can you see that? I don't know if it shows up on the video, but there's a little bit of glitter in one of the blues. It's real thin, so we'll work on that. Anyway, okay, so what I have, let's start with this one here. And we're going to start with purple, and we're going to get our brush wet. And let's see, pull this in a little bit so you can see it. And I'm going to blot because I don't want a lot of water on my brush, and I'm going to pick up my purple, and I'm going to do my two corners. So I don't care what corners you do, but just do two corners that are opposite one another. Okay, so it could be the upper lower, or this way, the upper right and lower left, or opposite that. Okay, so I'm just going to use a dabbing brush stroke like this. Okay, and if you need a little bit of water, we're not working with a lot of water today. And this dabbing brush stroke will be what I want you to work on today. Just dab, 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 dab. All right, and then you do the bottom piece here. The same thing, these little short little brush strokes, just dabbing, just short brush strokes. Okay, and you want you to fill the whole corner with your purple. And then you can pause me at any time, so when I move on to the next step, if you're not ready, which you probably won't be because I'm just going to go right through this. So you work on those corners and get a nice coverage in both the corners. Coverage means that you've covered that area well with your color. Okay, so if you need to pause, please do so and visit me when you've got those done. Now we're going to move on to the blue, and I am going to use my solid blue, not the glitter blue yet, because the glitter blue is very thin and doesn't cover real well. So we're going to add it to our project. So now I want you to just kind of work over some of the purple, and you can mix a little purple and blue to blend. You're going to eventually blend the purple into the blue by overlapping these little brush strokes. I'm not going to go all the way because I want to see that purple, but I am going to put a few little brush strokes in there, just a few, and it will appear to blend. Okay, so let's work with just our solid colors first right now. No glitter quite yet. I'm gonna hold you off on that. Okay, we just want to get this. This paint is thicker, and so it shows up a lot better. So I just want to get the blue all the way around. Paint that blue all around your lily pads. Those little ovals will be our lily pads. And I don't have to paint really perfect around these because you'll see we're going to work up, keep adding paint by dabbing, okay? All right, so I have that in there, and you can see my brush strokes. I want you to try that by using those small brush strokes, okay? Just little short brush strokes. You're not painting, we're using brush strokes. Claude Monet did a lot of that. He did where you could actually see his brush strokes in his work. So I'm looking through a book to see if I can find one like that. But if you look close at his work, you'll see you'll see that it's not perfect. It's all his paintings are made of these brush strokes that are more like dabbed. So when you walk away, it all comes together. So anyway, all right. So you can go back to your purple and kind of do a little purple into your blue, just a little bit. Okay. Now I have one that's almost done. Here. Okay, and you can see, if you look close, you can see all my brush strokes. So now that I've got my purple and my blue covered, and if you need a little bit of water, use a little bit of water. That is just fine, but no puddles. No puddles. Now that you have your blues on there, now I want you to go over with your glitter blue. And it may not show up a lot at first, but the glitter, but it will. And when it dries, it'll show up quite a bit. So when it's wet, it doesn't show up as much. Okay, so just work that into a little bit of your over your blue, and then you can work in a little bit of purple as well. So like here's all blue. So what I want to do, I'll put some of the glitter blue. It's just really thin paint. It might be washable paint, I'm not sure. I have to look, let me see. Yeah, that's what it is. It's washable paint. And I don't like washable paint because it's just, I don't know. It's usually thin and doesn't cover well, but I do like it mixed over some of this other paint that I'm using. All right, so now we're gonna get creative and add some white. You can mix your white with a little purple. What does white and purple make? I'll show you. Alright, so there's some white. And you're thinking, well, why would I put white in there? Well, maybe the light is dancing against the water and making these kind of highlighted areas. Okay, so you can work on that as well. Please put me on pause at any time while you work on an area, and when you're done, then revisit me. All right, so I'll put some purple. So get a little water, just a little. There we go. So So I can maybe bring in some purple here. I'm not gonna care too much if I go, you know, over into the lily pad where it's green. That's okay. Right, now I'm gonna mix some white, a little bit of white into my purple. Makes lavender. If you haven't figured that out yet. Makes lavender. So I'm just getting a little bit of white, just a little. Maybe you want more, it's your project. So again, I'm using that sort of that short brush stroke, kind of that dab there. And if it looks too bright, go back over it with just a little bit of purple. Just a little bit. You're just dabbing that color. And once you get your kind of what I call layers of color built up, it'll look really pretty. You just try not to mix your colors. You want your colors on top of one another. And that's how you'll get this really pretty kind of, you just keep dabbing. If you can, just keep at it. And you'll get it. I just noticed my glitter paint, the glitter just kind of falls to the bottom of my well, because I don't see any glitter at the top, but it's at the bottom. There's a lot of glitter. I don't know if you can see it on my brush. I'm going to use that. So I'll put some over here, and I can kind of work it in. And that way when it dries, it'll be very shiny. Okay. All right, I think I'm happy with that. I'm gonna blend back over this area that I did my purple, my blue. I did a little more lavender, I mixed my white, and then I did a tiny bit more of that glitter blue, which is very thin. And it just kind of will blend it together. And the same down here. I'm going to put a little bit of water down, or white, down here. Make it interesting. Okay, I'm done with that. All right, now, so you work on that, and again, those little brush strokes, instead of painting, just give it a try and see how you do with that. Now, oh goodness, I didn't get my green. Let me get my green. For my water lilies. All right. Sorry if this shakes my video camera. There we go. I use this Lakeshore Super Bright. You can order online at Lakeshore. They're actually a school supply, but they have the best non-toxic paints. I really like them. They're nice and thick and have really good pigment, which is good color to them. All right, so now our water lily pads. Again, we're working with cool colors. All right, so what are cool colors versus warm colors? Does anybody know? Okay, cool colors are on a winter day and you look outside and it's kind of gray, blue, all the colors seem muted. That means like softened. All right, so there's one. Let me do another one. Cool colors, I get busy painting and lose my train of thought. Cool colors are what we have just used on this project. It's all cool colors. So purple, blue, green. Sometimes if yellow is paired with it, depending on the yellow, even yellow can be kind of a cool tone Doesn't seem like it, but sometimes. So now, these two are touching, which is just fine. And I don't know if you can do this, but I'm putting I have a square brush, not a round brush. Round ones are round and come to kind of a point. This one is square, and it is perfect for doing this kind of little short strokes. And I can take it and I can roll through my fingers and my thumb while I'm holding it. I'm just twirling it, and that's, I'm gonna do the paint stroke and twirl, and I can make my brush turn that corner. Okay, so that's how I'm doing that. I'm twirling it in my thumb and fingers to go around that corner of the lily pad. Now, depending on which one you do, I'm going to go back over this one, because the paint stroke here is going to tell you that this one is on top of that one. So the little paint stroke on the edge there. Okay, so now I'm going to do this one. Alright, there we go. And the one on the bottom. You fill those in any way you can, but if you are old enough and have enough control on your paintbrush and you can make that little twirl, that can be something you practice to make circles, or just in painting in general. It's nice to practice the control that you can have with your brush. Okay, there we go. Now, I'm going to mute these. So on this one, they're lighter and a little more muted, which that means I'm going to, it's not like a true bright color. I'm choosing to do this because Claude Monet, a lot of his work was these soft colors. So I'm going to use a little white to do that. And you can watch and see. It's just going to not necessarily lighten, but it will soften. And purple and green are secondary colors. If you mix them, a lot of them, they'll be muddy. But I'm going to add a tiny bit of purple, really, really small amount. And it's going to make my green darker. I'll do this one even more so you can see it better. Can you see how it's much darker than this one? So I added very little. If I added a lot, it would be kind of muddy looking, and I don't want that. So, and this one I'm going to use a little glitter glue of the glitter blue on. So if you want, you can. It doesn't have to be a solid green. All right, so let's go back to white and see what we get here. That might be too much, huh? But that's all right. Let's kind of play around with it, see what we get. You can always add more green. Don't worry about it. Okay. And this one I'm going to leave dark because it's in the back, and I want to kind of leave it dark. I'm going to add a little blue to that one. Oops, I need a little water. Okay. And when this dries, it's going to be so pretty with the glitter on there. Alright, there we go. So they're kind of different colors now, kind of in there. And I am going to put make this one a little darker. But it's maybe in the shadow somewhere in the back. I think that'll be pretty where it's hiding back there. That gives it some interest, so they're not all the same. So there you go. That's kind of shading. And now that we've done that, you can just let it dry, or you can set it aside, or we can continue to work on it. I can clean this up a little bit here. There we go. Technically, that should be a darker rim around that, because that would be shadow right against the water there. But that's all right. Okay. Now I'm going to show you how to make the tissue paper flowers for it. All right. So we will retire that one and bring this one back. And this is really fun. So after it dries, and it can be almost dry, but maybe you should just let it dry, because that way you won't get your hands or mess up your picture. Let's see, lily pad. The flowers come in different colors. They come in white, pinks, kind of a red pink, but I'm going to let you use these little tissue papers. You have it in your kit, and I've got all these different colors, and I think I gave you extra yellow. Yellow is the center. So if you have a pencil, you're going to just put the pencil in the center of that square, and just see, I'm going to just cup my fingers like this and kind of press it. All right. You're going to take your glue, and it doesn't have to be one per lily pad. They have like little stems that come up out of the water, and so I'm going to put a few on there because that's what I choose to do. So if you just want a couple, then just put a couple. So now that you have that around your pencil, well, right where it was supposed to be. I'm going to press it down like that, and I have a flower. Then take some yellow and squish it all up into a ball. Okay, just a little ball. You take your glue, and you put a dot of glue in there. Just be careful not to get a lot of glue in there. Okay, so there. Now this is how you make a double one. Let's see, what colors do we want? I'll do the purple and but I want the purple on the outside. So I'm going to take the pink, do the same thing. I'm going to take the purple, and this will be like a double flower, like a fuller double flower. These are double here. This one's single. These have double. So I'll put that one here. I'm going to just press it down with my pencil. And again, I'll take some yellow, squish it up into a ball. Okay, put that dot of glue in the center of your flower, and this goes in the middle. Just like that. Now, okay, so that is how I made my lily pads. I'll make one more, all right? Have lavender and peach here. Let's do one more here, right there. It makes for such a pretty little project. I just love it. It's one of my favorites. Oops, not going to stick in there if I don't have the glue. Put that dot of glue in there. You can use your pencil, kind of press it down. There we go. There we go. So, Claude Monet's Water Lilies. I hope you enjoyed that project. It's one of my favorites. I was so just going back and forth on if I wanted to teach you how to paint the water lilies or do the tissue paper, but I've always loved the tissue paper. I know I've used it in class several times, and the kids just love it. So I hope you enjoyed it at home, and I will see you next week or whenever you decide to do the next project, and I hope you had fun with this. I know I did. Okay, bye-bye now. Well, hey everybody, I hope you had fun with that project today. I know I did. So tune in next week. We'll see what we have a new project next week. Okay, bye-bye now.